Vigilante Williamson here with a very simple question. Why is anything other than anti-cop rhetoric considered racist? This question is very pertinent because I feel like a lot of my material, and it's exhaustingly so, has been about this anti-racist movement and my belief that the anti is silent. And it's not really taking in concerns of what black people actually want. It's putting upon these beliefs of what black people want, and it's purporting these beliefs, and it's radically defending these beliefs, even if they're quantifiably destructive and against black people's opinion. Using Gina Carano as a backdrop, and also using this weird story in New Jersey as a backdrop to talk about this. So let's get into it. I'm just not going to go through the whole story. Basic gist, and I'm sure you've seen stuff about it. Gina Carano posted this. I think this is on Twitter. You know I'm old and a young boomer because I don't social media much. But she posted this anti-picture. The context of this picture is the rally, and there's the one guy not saluting. And this is so proven correct by the reaction. The whole point of this is saying, you know, people are starting to act similar to this, and I'm not going to go along with it. And so all of these type of people, in my opinion, come after her, and they keep saying, please say ACAB, which is all cops are bastards. And listen, I do not have a criminal record, and I have been shitted on by police, and I've had positive situations with police. I absolutely think we need criminal justice reform, and I absolutely think we do need police reform. I think we could do without police being compensated for their amounts of arrest, because I don't think that necessarily makes you a good police officer. But I think more important than that is to do something about these sentences and doing something about the laws that the cops are actually enforcing. That would do a lot more good than attacking the men and women who are just enforcing these laws and just going with the compensation that they are provided. So, and there's a lot more to go, but that's outside the scope of this video, which is my favorite phrase. Okay, so more tweets about, you know, why are you like this? Bad career move, because she points out the one person who doesn't salute, who doesn't bend the knee, who doesn't go along with the crowd. And these people who don't understand that are going along with the crowd. But more than this, more than, you know, what happened, and, you know, again, she's racist because she's not anti-cop, because they keep saying, you know, you shade the BLM movement, and you're racist. Everything's racist because if you're not BLM, if you're not anti-cop, you must be racist. You know, if you want to, you know, your shoulders not racist, support to Black Lives Matter, even though that goes to the Democratic Party, and that's been proven, again, outside the scope of this video. But if you show you're not racist, don't ignore the BLM movement. And now she's posted this, and now it's about her not saying anything about BLM when these people didn't care. And there was support. There was a lot of support. But again, let me go to another point of this, and then I'll prove it. Here we go. This principle, he says the thin blue line promotes racism because they had this blue flag, this Blue Lives Matter flag, or this supporting the police. And because they support this police, this promotes racism and microaggressions. And I think he's just using buzzwords that his dweeby blue-haired kids at the school tell him. So yeah, it's racist because you're supporting police. How could you support these racist police? But here's the thing. Gallup poll. Black Americans want police to retain local presence. I'm sure a lot of you people have already seen all this, but I just want to point out this narrative. Still, 81% want police to spend the same amount of time or more time in their area. 61% want police presence to remain the same. Some of the 67% of all adults preferring the status quo, including 71% of white Americans, while nearly an equal proportions of Black Americans say they would like police to spend more time in their area. That's 20%. As say they would like them to spend less time. That's 19%. So just to go over the statistics one more time, 61% of Black Americans. This is a poll. I know you can feel what you want about polls, and you should, because I've never taken a poll. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt, you know? Nuance. We're all for nuance on this channel. But 61% of Black Americans want police presence to remain the same. 20% want more police. Okay, only 19% want less, and there is a chance that all these people who attacked Miss Carano or whoever's in this principal's ear to make him think that the thin blue line flag promotes racism. And this is, again, you got to give it context. This is law enforcement today. When I looked up the article, this seems to be the source. So yeah, they're going to have their biases, but people who are saying this are actually ignoring what black people actually want. Now there is a chance that is the 19%, right? There's a 19%, and we know about the loud minority of Twitter. Maybe these are all of that 19%, but I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of these are very young, very naive, and for the most part, I know that's a leap because Twitter is anonymous, and I'm sure they're not all Caucasian, as I see the sunlight reflects off me. We're just keeping it. I'm sure it's been like this the whole video. I'm just not noticing. I'm sure a lot of these people, Chloe, I've met Black Chloe, so I'm not gonna just guess, but I'm gonna take a safe bet that she's Caucasian, and because they shade the BLM movement, which if you want to know about BLM, let's go to their site. Of course, they are one of disrupting the Western prescribed nuclear family. So they want to get rid of the nuclear family, which is not good. We can do statistics if you want to look at how fatherlessness helps statistics. And I grew up without a father, just full discretion. Not sure what word I was saying. Poverty, did live in poverty in part of my life. Didn't get anyone pregnant, probably because I was obese, but that's neither here nor there. But these are all statistics that are true. You're more likely to have behavioral problems, to face abuse, did not face abuse, do have mental issues. I'll talk about that in other videos. Infant mortality, more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. We can debate that. I don't know about abuse. Sometimes it stretches. Never been to prison. No criminal record. And this is discriminatory against 2A. Why is guns always associated with crime? Because guns can stop crime too. But I do understand the association. More likely to commit crime. More likely to drop out of high school. I did not. But again, this is this is what being without a father does. So it's not a positive thing, and that is what BLM is for on their site. Again, and I'm mixed. I am all for police reform. I think we need a lot of reform, but I'm not for defunding. I am not for throwing paint at grandmothers. I'm not for all this craziness. I think there's a way to do things. Even a lot of statues, I don't really care either way because they're just pieces of rock. We could do that in a much better way. So I just think that a lot of tactics need to be called into question. But again, the main point of this video is, listen, I think maybe some of these people, as crazy and as radicalized as they are, some of these people, I truly believe, and I know I'm naive for this, but I gotta maintain that, there's a good-heartedness behind this craziness. They think, this right side of history. These aren't trolls. These are people trying to educate you so you can get on the right side of history. Right side of history. They think this is correct. They're trying to be against racism. They don't realize they're actually the ones perpetuating it. They don't realize they're actually ignoring what black people want and need in their communities. They don't understand that. And so that's the point of my content. It's not to berate people, even though, I have a lot of criticism of them. It is to show, hey, look at the nuance. And I want to go into an article, speaking of nuance, about black fatherlessness that I found through my little research. No, most black kids are not fatherless. Josh Ladd's a contributor for the Huffington Post. Take it with a grain of salt. But there's some interesting statistics. Most black fathers live with their children. There are about 2.5 million who live with their children, 1.7 million who don't. That's a lot different than 70%. That's a greater majority that do. So what this is single women. That's what the statistic is single women raising black kids, meaning unmarried, not necessarily people who are living with their fathers. So I think that nuance needs to be added. And it says, let me go a little later in the article where it says one of the big reasons is the disproportionate incarceration for black men for similar offenses, which I need to see more statistics on to quantify that. But basically the incarceration of black men. And we know that over the past 30 or so years, not only have the rates of incarceration gone up, well, that goes about 40 years because it really started in the 80s. But not only did the rates of incarceration go up, but the amount of time given for sentences gone up. And I've had that affect friends. And so that's what we can look at. That's something I think we can mutually agree. And this is what my point is. You know, you're against cops, right? Because you think that's racist. Cops are racist. It doesn't matter that black people who actually want cops. What you should be against is the criminal justice system as a whole and the things that still need to be fixed. And what you're doing instead is using straw man arguments, destroying people, trying to destroy people. And luckily, there is a moral to this Gina Carano story. There were a lot of people who support her, including a lot of her castmates, which is good. I like her on The Mandalorian. I actually like the show. I may do a review on it. I like it for its cheesiness. It reminded me of the 90s. It reminded me of the Xena Warrior Princess, the Hercules, anyone who watched those type of shows, the 90s, early 2000s. What was that show with Bill Bellamy? I can't think of it. Fastlane, I think it is, something like that. Just shows like that had their little cheesiness, and those type of shows as the sun comes back. It puts me in mind of that, but it has so much Star Wars lore just seeped into us. I like The Mandalorian. I like Gina Carano, even though she's not a great actress, but her non-greatness and the way she really feels like this character, and it's a charm to it. It's a charm. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a charm to it. There's a near campy charm to The Mandalorian that I love. So that's pretty much the video. The moral of the story is, I know I just ranted about The Mandalorian, but the moral of the story is, listen, if you truly want a non-racist society, which I think is a better term because anti-racist is, like I said, the anti seems to be silent in anti-racist. But if you truly want a non-racist society, you truly want to go up institutions that are actually detrimental towards black men and black women, actually go against them and actually do some research. This doesn't take long for me to do this research, and any one of you commenters on Twitter who went back and forth with Gina Carano could have done the same amount of research. And so this is my video for you. It's not to tell you how terrible you are. It's to say, hey, listen, just listen. I think we can all do that. So that's the end of this video. If you like the video, please like the video, and if you're willing to share, I would appreciate it. If you didn't and you hate me, tell me how much I suck in the comments so I can get better. And either way, thank you for watching and thank you for your time.